I usually do this with Ishant also. He's one of the nicest guys on the cricket field, and काफी लोग करते हैं. So I try and talk like Ishant sometimes, and it does not come out always. But all I would like to tell you is that Ishant is a great guy, a fantastic bowler. He has a heart of gold, and this is how Lambuji talks.
Brilliant, brilliant. I really hope he sees this. That cricket guy, Jatin Sapru, a very warm welcome to Say Yash To Sports on Sports O'Clock, brought to you by Kragbuzz.
Thank you, Yash. I hope you're well. Everyone around you, family members, friends, I hope you've kept safe and healthy during this time.
Absolutely, I'm all good. Thank you so much. So, last few months or so, away from the hustle and bustle of cricket, how's life been for you during this lockdown?
Well, as much as everyone may have enjoyed if we had the luxury of being able to spend time at home, which many people did not have. So there was always this constant feeling, which wasn't great because a lot of people were suffering. But got this time to spend with my daughter. I've seen her grow up. So spending these 3-4 months, which otherwise wouldn't have been possible, was great. Getting to see her become very naughty. And other household chores, Jadu, Pocha, Pathan. The story was same like any other house.
Har ghar ki kahani.
Absolutely.
So what I can say is that cricket guy has now transformed into dad cricket guy during this lockdown.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so moving forward, finally after a gap of 5 months, we are going to witness the razzmatazz of IPL. We are going to see our favorite sporting personalities in action once again, albeit in UAE this year. So how are you looking at it?
Great. I mean, it's before the main vaccine comes. This is one vaccine that can at least bring a lot of delight to the country. This is usually a festive window, right? September, October, November, you're looking forward to so many festivals. It'll only be wise for us not to step out because these are not normal circumstances. And what better than enjoying cricket at home? So I think that this is cricket's answer, that while you respect the threat posed by the virus, the fight back has begun. And I don't think there is another tournament that sums it up in a global manner that the IPL does. So really happy, really looking forward.
We all are happy, and I think during this unprecedented times, sport is one thing which can, unite the entire world.
Absolutely. I mean, it just gives you hope, right? I mean, this is what I always ask when people come out, when viewers, as fans, what is it that makes them go so passionate and connect with sports? It's the real life story of winning and losing. It's real life story of hope till the very end. And this is exactly what we need. So to fight the pandemic, I think sports is a great example, and it's just a great unifier, man. We could all do with some few hours of forgetting what's happening around us, and I don't think anything better than the IPL for everyone in the country.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Now moving forward, Jatin, you've been in this industry for more than a decade now. That cricket guy is now one of the most sought after faces in the Indian sports broadcast industry. लेकिन कभी-कभी जब आप सुबह उठते हो तो do you just pinch yourself, just to make sure कि ये सब कुछ सच में हो रहा है?
नहीं, इतना फैंसी लाइफ है नहीं. अगर लोगों को लगता है इतना कुछ ऐसा होता नहीं है. लेकिन I have always from day one been very thankful, शुक्रगुजार हूँ कि ये मौका मिला है. Whenever I feel, well, sometimes you could feel a little overworked and all of that. So at that time, I remind myself how people would give an arm and a leg in this country to do what I do. It's a position which everyone would want to be in. So I make myself realize that every now and then. It's never gotten to my head. Neither will I ever let it get to my head. But it's a great privilege, and I always tell people I work very hard for it, and I don't think I'll ever get carried away.
Absolutely, and that's great to see as well. You've been in this profession, as I said, for more than a decade, so I'm sure you have a lot of stories to tell as well. And one of those is between you and Sunny Paji, the great Sunil Gavaskar. Back in 2009, Champions Trophy, something happened at Lords, World T20.
World T20. Yeah, a lot of stories. Kabhi daadi kaat liye, baal safed ho gaye, stories batao aage. Sunny bhai, it's amazing. I always tell him this as well. और उनको याद ही नहीं और होगा भी क्यों. I was just a young reporter on my first big assignment, and Sunny bhai has been my grandfather's hero, my father's hero. मैं उनको सनी सर बोलता हूँ तो गुस्से में बोलते हैं पागल है यार, कॉल मी सनी भाई. So a lot of people are like, how can you call him this? I mean, this is a permission he is granted. लेकिन उस टाइम पे Lords में we were in the media box and I was just kicked, you know, I was like a kid in a candy store, Lords media box. वहाँ पे मैं खुदियाँ काट रहा था, is it possible that I'm here? And I was making coffee and Sunny bhai was also पीछे and a friend of his was along with him. तो मैं ऐसे पीछे से मुड़ा तो उनके साथ जो दोस्त थे, who also I know quite well now, उनके हाथ से कॉफी गिर गई. And Sunny bhai just literally, you know, gave me the looks, the dirts. And मुझे लगा that he said something on the lines of youngsters. Maybe he might not have even said it. शायद उन्होंने उस तरीके से देखा भी ना हो. But for me, I was like, खत्म करियर, no chance. If I ever work with him again, this is, you know, जैसे वो DDLJ में शाहरुख खान और रणबीर पुरी की first meeting.
Yeah.
Saying, yeah, boss, chance.
Exactly.
But now, I mean, I really value this. You know, this is what I tell people. If you want to ask me what is success for me, to be able to connect with Sunny bhai and to talk to him, to take advice. He is the funniest human being who I know. He shares the best jokes, and to have that freedom. And this time when we were in New Zealand, Inaya was there, and she was with him. He was almost babysitting her like a grandfather. So just to be able to enjoy this, having been an outsider, I think is the greatest achievement for me.
Lovely. What a lovely story to listen to, Jatin sir. And you know, I'm sure you must have had your own share of oops moment on air as well. So
yes, so but you have to learn from every oops moment. I'm sure people will be like straight the Shoaib Akhtar thing, which I've spoken about so many times. While again, I wasn't really at fault because I never laughed at him. I was responding to Kapil Baji, jo camera pe kabhi dikha nahi. But it still just tells you, you know, that you have to be very careful with the motions and the emotions that your experts might be going through, someone you're interviewing might be going through. So every action has a reaction. So you and you're solely responsible because आप अपने producer, director सबको justification दे दोगे, but people who are out there evaluating you every single time, just how you do with cricketers, it's the janta. So even for us, you're on air, you can't go explaining कि हुआ क्या था to the whole world. So you might as well just be more responsible. And some oops moment, but I always, as long as it's not politically royally incorrect or is not offending to any particular sect, religion, political affinities, we always stay away from them. Yeah. उसके अलावा oops moments चलते रहते हैं, I think, but now I've got a rapport with most of these guys. They know it's, even if it happens, it's innocent. And you love correcting. You know, I always tell people, if you make a mistake, say sorry. Say sorry on air. People love it. You make a joke about yourself, and don't let the world believe that you're over smart. ये देख गलती की और माना भी नहीं. गलती किया, sorry बोलो. People like it. That's what we expect when someone does anything wrong. So you just have to maintain your composure, and these are the charms of being live on air.
Right. लेकिन वो पारिया नारिया वाला भी कुछ है, I've heard.
हाँ, या वो कमेंट्री थी, काफी लेट इवनिंग हो गया था मैच एंड जीत थोड़ी सूख गई थी. तो आई थिंक जो एक्सपर्ट है मैं नाम नहीं लूंगा, सो उनके रिकॉर्ड को देख के हम कह रहे थे कि, और मैं बोल रहा था कि भारत के लिए कुछ लाजवाब पारियां खेली हैं और मुंह से थोड़ा नारियां निकल गया था. So again, no offense because you know it could sound horribly wrong, but I didn't mean that. And they just started laughing and मेरे को पता भी नहीं था. And I was like, what happened? Why are you laughing? And our producers and splits, commentary producer, the experts are just on the floor, and we were going into an ad break. And was time, and I was like, oh God, what have I done? But it was fun. You know, these are stories, yaar. ये तो याद रहता है.
I can imagine how funny it must have been.
It was damn funny, यार. हम लोग माइक के पीछे बहुत हंसते हैं.
Right. I'll come to that at a later stage as well. अब मेरे पास कुछ cricketers के नाम है, and you have to tell us one thing which no one knows about them.
Yeah, मैं मतलब I'll try something which is okay to be out in the public domain.
Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt. No problem.
Okay.
UZ Chahal.
UZ Chahal. He's a very emotional guy. He's a very emotional guy. Very family oriented. तो लगता है he's very outgoing and all, but very family oriented, emotional guy.
Okay. Next up, KL Rahul.
I think he is what he is. You see him on the field, that's his demeanor. Off the field also, all of them love cars. He's a good driver, quite responsible. What can I say? I personally think he's got one of the best fashion sense. He keeps it very classy, good taste. And again, he has a lovely family. From the academic background. Lovely setup. Great boy.
Right. very special VVS Laxman.
अरे VVS Laxman, class, legend. VVS की डिक्शनरी में कुछ बुरा नहीं है. Like he believes that human beings are good, better, best. There is no bad. वो हर चीज में good ढूंढते हैं. I've not seen anyone more innocent. जो हल्का से भी उनके आसपास अगर कुछ हो रहा था and he might have even remotely been associated, it plays on his mind. You know, he's very sensitive. He is an absolute gem. Very sensitive.
Wow.
In a good way. In a good way. He's
in a good way. Yes.
Yeah.
Harbhajan Singh.
Harbhajan Singh, Bhachupa. Again, he's things that are happening around him affect him, you know, and he's constantly trying to figure out, you know, what are more important things that are happening around the world. वो अपनी सोच को rigid नहीं रखते. अगर आप उनको बताते तो वो पूछते हैं कि ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है, you know, youngsters अगर ऐसा क्यों सोच रहे हैं, this and that, and he tries to get to that wavelength and all of that. So very compassionate. Again, I'll put him great guy, and Bhachupa English accent बड़ा अच्छा निकालते हैं. BBC की accent बड़ा सही copy करते हैं.
I've seen it on ASAP with JSAP as well.
I've seen it. Class. Yeah. Too much entertainment.
Fantastic. Last up, Irfan Pathan.
Irfan Pathan, उनकी खातिरदारी यार. खातिरदारी. If Irfan Pathan is in the studio, किसी को खाना लाने की जरूरत नहीं है.
बिरयानी. हर
संडे पूरे क्रू का पेट भरा जाता है. वो कभी अपने अकेले के लिए चीज नहीं लेंगे. If he knows that he's going to meet you, he knew which cologne I like, so बिना पूछे next time he had gone out. आ गई थी. So he's literally like, you know, he's like the brother who loves chai, and ready होने में भाई को बड़ा टाइम लगता है.
Okay. So who takes the most amount of time to get ready in the studio? Irfan.
Hands down.
Okay.
But he compensates. So पहले आके ready होके he comes.
ठीक है. Great. So you have spilled a lot of beans on some of the players today. Moving forward, आज आप strikers end पे हो तो I've got a challenge for you, and this challenge is called as Delhi ka swag with a British tadka.
Okay.
I know your wife is from England and you spend a lot of time there.
Yeah, half British. Yeah, half British.
Yeah. So 15 seconds आपको British accent में Delhi का swag दिखाना है.
British accent in it.
Yeah.
Oh. So I'm gonna try. ਉਹ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੌਣ ਆ. ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੇ ਤੂੰ ਪੰਗਾ ਲੈਤਾ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ bro ਨੂੰ ਫੋਨ ਕਰ ਦੇਣਾ, bro ਆ ਜਾਊਗਾ. ਬੁਲਾਵਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ. ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਕਨੈਕਟ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ. ਹਲੇ ਫੋਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਤਾਂ ਬੰਦੇ ਆ ਜਾਣਗੇ, ਤੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਚ ਆ ਜਾਊਗਾ. ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਪੰਗਾ ਨਾ ਲਈ. भाई तेरा भाई जानदा है, सब जानदा तेरा भाई.
देखो पता नहीं तेरा भाई किसको जानता है.
तेरा भाई सबनू जानदा. तेरा भाई पार्लियामेंट बना रहा नया वाला.
Fantastic, Jatin. Okay, next up, there's one more challenge for you. You have to mimic any cricketer or a co-commentator, all in good sport on a lighter note.
Co-commentator करते रहते हैं यार, सबका है कुछ ना कुछ. मैं उनको बता दूंगा तो फिर वो मेरे एंगल है ना, उनको पता है कि इसके पास कुछ है, निकलना नहीं चाहिए. I usually do this with Ishant also. He's one of the nicest guys on the cricket field, and काफी लोग करते हैं. So I try and talk like Ishant sometimes, and it does not come out always. But all I would like to tell you is that Ishant is a great guy, a fantastic bowler. He has a heart of gold, and this is how Lambuji talks.
Brilliant. I really hope he sees this.
He knows we've done this. Kapil Baji ने एक बार मेरे को फंसा दिया था. ईशान इंटरव्यू के लिए आया हुआ था और उसी के ईशान के सामने मैं क्रिकेट की बात कर रहा हूँ. पाजी कहते जानता है ये तेरी बड़ी अच्छी नकल करता है.
Kapil Paji is another great guy to talk to as well, isn't it?
He's a legend. Again, like Sunny Paji. You know, these people just have their cricketing credentials are, of course, everyone knows, legendary, but they're also just great human beings. And again, Kapil Paji, वो जब आते हैं तो रौनक आ जाती है हर जगह.
बिल्कुल.
कल से आएंगे तो समोसे ले आएंगे 2 किलो, लड्डू ले आएंगे, और एक भी बंदे ने अगर बोल दिया कि पाजी मेरे को तो समोसा मिला नहीं, तो उसके लिए एक समोसा नहीं आएगा, आधा किलो और आएगा.
क्या बात है.
So yeah.
Okay. अच्छा, हम सबको पता है कि पर्दे के पीछे कमेंट्री बॉक्स में भी बहुत मस्ती चलते रहती है. So, can you share some epic goof up by anyone in the commentary box, which left everyone in splits, and it shouldn't include you?
बहुत हुए हैं यार. There are some.
यहाँ पे जो बता सको आप.
Mispronunciation of names हो जाते हैं, जिसके चलते it can get very funny. But yeah, most of them are basically not to be told, because उसी में उतना laughter निकलता है. But एक टाइम पे हमें याद है हम लोग कौन सी सीरीज थी, I'm trying to remember. I think it was one of those Asia Cups जो दुबई में हो रहे थे, और मैचेस जो है रात को 12-1 बजे तक चल रहे थे. किसी एक मैच में few of us just got so carried away. मैच बड़ा बोरिंग सा चले जा रहा है. So we got into stories, hot seat वगैरह कर रहे थे. तो उस पे हो गया था. I think someone said कि कमेंट्री खत्म करते हुए ये तो मिडनाइट मसाला बन गया. And thankfully ad में जा चुके थे. But I mean again in a very candid, innocent way. But yeah, sometimes when the matches go on, ना मतलब अगर all matches don't have context. Some matches become a little, the result. तुम्हें पता है होने वाला है. You're just waiting for it. 7 wickets down, 150 runs to get and 10 overs. तो उस टाइम पे फिर निकल जाती है जनता कभी-कभी मस्ती के टाइम.
बिल्कुल. But I'm sure sports broadcast, especially live broadcast, must be absolute adrenaline rush. It
is. You have to realize what is at stake. It's your voice going out. Like I said, आप explanations बाद में देते रहिए, but the damage is usually done. So some things, and I firmly believe, sexism, racism, colorism, these things are not funny. I've never found them funny. And you have to be very careful, even if someone else might not even mean it, but if something sounds like it, you have to clarify it. Then the game itself, it moves at a different pace. You're sitting with legends. You have to make sure that you never sound like an expert. And a lot of people might not know कि सिर्फ cricket knowledge से commentary नहीं हो जाती. There are counts to be followed, time counts to be followed.
Right.
There is a lot that goes on, which is why I always tell people, don't just aspire to be on TV. कि knowledge है, मेरे को stats सारे पता हैं. There is a lot यार. दिमाग में words आने चाहिए. Before you say, you have to be ready with what you have to say. And to make it, emphatic, drive home the point. So it does take a lot to get there. I'm lucky, I think, thankful for the opportunity that I've got to Star Sports. And I hope I don't let them down.
I think the points which you have mentioned will definitely help to a lot of aspiring sports broadcasters, who always try and ask you for a roadmap.
Yeah, and I tell people, if you like, I love the medium. I always say this. If not a sports broadcaster, I wouldn't have been sitting somewhere upset. I wanted to get into journalism. I wanted to get into media. I loved how television works. I loved how print works. And I was enjoying the process. I would have enjoyed politics as much. I had other passions too. Sports was right on top. But I was enamored by how broadcast media works. And before I started hosting in 2012-13, from 2007 up until then, I was very happily doing everything else. From picking up tripods to learning how cameras work to how backend works. And that's what you should aspire to be. Don't just do it to be on TV, man. That's the end result. Hoga, but enjoy the process. Like MS says, this is the process. If you don't enjoy it and if you don't learn these things, वो बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएगा.
Bilkul. And Jatin, now last question before we move on to our final rapid fire segment. There is always a lot of apprehension, a tinge of apprehension between the cricketers and commentators, especially in present day cricket. But you seem to have very good relations with a lot of Indian players. So how did you hit it off with them?
I know first and foremost that it's completely professional. Why it may have happened is I have been on the field since 2007. So the current guys who are now playing might have seen me on ESPN from those days. It could have trust barrier hota hai, for them also to feel that he's worked to be a part of this community. You become familiar. Then your content, your knowledge allows them maybe that comfort कि जो ये पूछ रहा है ये international level पे नहीं खेला, but he studied his game. He knows what he's talking about. So not having meaningless conversations. And secondly, the only thing is, in most of my friendships, they know at the end of the day I have to be honest to my job. So It might be off the field, but on the field, again, I am a broadcaster. They are players. I have to ask tough questions some days, and I'm not going to be apologetic about it ever. And secondly, I don't look at any of these relationships for any favors.
Right.
It's not a step up for me to get into the community. I'm very happy in my space. I have my life outside of cricket. That is the life I value. So it's not a mutual give and take relationship. It is honestly just as friends, and
Correct.
On the field, we are professionals.
Fantastic. And now it's time for a super over, which is basically a rapid fire segment. So I'm going to hurl 6 bounces at you.
Okay.
A few of them should be easier, and a few of them might be a bit difficult as well. So first up, one household work which you have done constantly during this lockdown.
Everything. Jhadu pocha, I think I was the best. Every 2 or 3 days, I used to do proper jhadu pocha. Vacuum रोज करता था, बर्तन भी रोज करता था. और ये सब मैं पहले से ही करते आता था. मॉम की पहले भी बचपन में भी हेल्प करता था. It's not that we never had a full-time servant or anything. तो मेरे को ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम हुई नहीं. और कार्डियो हो गया, 4 किलो कम हो गया.
Wow. Blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jatin Sapru loves Mumbai more than Delhi. True or false?
I like Mumbai's attitude and the professionalism at times more. I love Delhi's space. I grew up here. My best friends, everyone is here. My family is here. Space का मुकाबला है नहीं. लेकिन मुंबई में एक professional attitude है. I think that's what I say. Delhi is a business city. Mumbai is a professional city. There is a different pace. I feel that the aggression is not as much as it is in Delhi. So Delhi ka space or Mumbai ka attitude will make the craziest combination.
The best combination ever.
Yes.
Yeah. Best cricketing sledge you have ever heard of or come across?
Best cricketing sledge, I mean, Viru and Shoaib, those are very enjoyable. But then Ian Healy, Arjuna Ranatunga about throwing a bar of Snickers. And I think there was one between Zimbabwean player and Glenn McGrath.
Okay.
Again, politically incorrect, very personal, but yeah.
So any game which you have been a part of, like as a host or a commentator, do you remember anything from that game?
A good sledge. Well, Kesrick Williams and Virat Kohli, I really enjoyed. Those are good moments. Cricket needs characters. Cricket needs conversations. Cricket does not need what happened between Mitchell Starc and Karen Pollard. No back throwing or physical harm should be attempted at. I think people could avoid getting personal also. Good witty ones. So Virat's reaction on Kesrick Williams, I was part of that. So that I thought was great. Great television, great moment.
Absolutely. Yeah. And now you have to choose your favorite between these two.
Okay, batao.
Darshak bane fielder, fielder bane Darshak by Akash Chopra, or super se bhi upar by VVS Laxman.
I love how VVS says super se bhi upar. Because super se bhi upar.
Yeah.
VVS, yaar, we love it. He's given Hindi such a serious thought, itni mehnat karte hain, and now it's beautiful. So
if you can mimic it for us.
VVS?
Yeah.
He's like, super se bhi upar. You know, so upar becomes a little upar. He's too cute, man. Love VVS.
Very cute. Extremely cute. Yeah. Best compliment you have received till date for your commentary?
Oh. Best compliment. You know, I usually don't get into flattery. What I like is when someone I'm with, a great of the game, if he comes and pats my back, which is what personally satisfies me. So compliment coming in, I respect everything that viewers say, fans say. It's ultimately to them. But for someone who hasn't played the game, it matters a lot more if an ex-cricketer, a great one, comes and pats your back. So Sunny bhai ne, Kapil Paji ne एक बार मेरे को कहा था कि जब अपने ऊपर विश्वास है ना बेटा तो किसी और से फीडबैक लेने का नहीं, अच्छी चीज के लिए नहीं. कुछ गलत हो तब जरूर पूछना, लेकिन have that confidence, you've earned this place, so enjoy it. But I know the line is never to cross.
Definitely. And that was a great advice from Kapil Paji.
Yeah.
And last ball of the innings coming up. One thing which no one knows about Jatin Sapru.
One thing that no one knows about me. I think I've pretty much put everything out there. What could it be?
रैपिड फायर है, इतना टाइम नहीं ले सकते.
मतलब, I have a major sweet tooth. I'm crazy about sweets. I get very stressed out when I put on weight. I have been a fat kid, and I love photography and I love advertising.
Right. And a lot of them might not be aware that you wanted to become a psephologist starting off.
Yes, politics. Psephologist. Dr. Yogendra Yadav is someone I really looked up to. Those NDTV. Abhi bhi jab elections hote hain, I'm glued to NDTV. If I wasn't doing this, I would have loved to be part of a political election coverage.
Fantastic. Well, Jatin sir, that's it from our end. I had an absolute blast talking to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure, Yash. Always good talking to you. Take care. Take care of everyone at home. Stay safe. Bye.
Definitely.
And wish you best.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.